Hey Motiv Nation, Nick Pahr here with you in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Spectrum Lanes, introducing the new Evoke. Really excited about this new core and cover combination. We've got a brand new asymmetrical core called the Overload, and that is actually 248, 050, 015. Still low RG, moderately high differential, and a kind of smaller intermediate differential so that you can see a lot of different shapes. It's not gonna get too forward down lane unless you drill it really strong. You can manipulate the core to actually flare less or more depending on your layout. It's got the new Leverage MXC cover, so it's an updated version of the Forge Flare, which is where this is going exactly on the same part of the ball chart. So you'll see that it's a stronger, earlier rolling, but still hooks enough down lane, whereas the Forge Flare was just a really early rolling ball that might have been almost too early for a typical house shot, so it's more of a tournament ball. This is a little bit more overall, just a really good ball for when they're fresh or on tougher, longer patterns. Something where you need to see like the ball stand up kind of in the middle, but still retain enough axis rotation down lane and get through the pins the right way. All right, so the first Evoke you're gonna see me throw is typical tester layout for me, which is 55 by 5.5 by 35. This one's gonna stand up in the middle. It's definitely gonna force me a little bit further left into the puddle, but still gonna see enough shape down lane, not too forward or anything like that. Just because the mass bias is still pretty close to my thumb, if I were to kick that out closer to my bow, I would definitely see it be a little bit more forward down lane. All right, so the second Evoke you're gonna see me throw is my pin down layout that I love, especially on ASIMs. This is 45 by 5 3/4 by 65. Now with this mass being a little bit further over, even though it is closer to my bow, it's a weaker pin, so it's still gonna get further down lane and be a little bit rounder motion overall. It might overall hook more total boards, but it's gonna be further down lane, whereas the pin up version is gonna be a little bit earlier, and that's why it's forcing me further left. All right, so as I touched on this a little earlier, we're really excited about this new asymmetrical core just because we can kind of change those differential numbers quite a bit after drilling. And we're gonna talk about that with two different layouts here. So I did a 70 by 5 by 10 layout and a 70 by 5 by 80. Now I just changed that valve angle, so obviously that valve angle is what dictates how much flare on this ball. So what you're gonna see is the 10-degree valve is gonna flare an enormous amount. It's gonna have wider flare rings between each one, and then that's gonna create a little bit more traction on the lane, and you'll see a stronger overall shape. Now going to that 80-degree one, it's a much lower pin. It's gonna decrease the differential quite a bit, and you're gonna see that those flare rings are a lot closer together, especially in the front on the ball. All right, so like I said, this is my 70 by 5 by 10, so that's why you'll see the pin so much higher up here. Puts the mass just above my thumb, 70 degrees, so it's gonna retain a little bit more axis rotation going down the lane, so it's gonna give you a little bit more angle down off the end of the pattern. But it's gonna flare a ton because of that 10-degree valve. All right, so then that other one that I was talking about, I did 70 by 5 by 80. That's why the pin is so much lower down here. That 80 degrees is actually gonna tighten up those flare rings, allow me to get a little bit closer to the friction, but that 70 degrees is still gonna retain axis rotation and come off the spot plenty hard down lane, but it's not gonna force me so far left into more of the oil because I'm decreasing flare and overall differential.